Beautician. We have Ibifubra and Danboskid right here with me in the studio. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
I'm fine. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Why do you guys sound like, you've not had like enough sleep for a minute?
Have we?
It's been a long week.
I know the feeling. Of course, you're feeling like really overwhelmed right now. But it's great to see you at the same time, not really.
Exactly.
But how are you feeling right now? Just, stepping out of the house, just trying to soak everything in. How you feeling? Let me start with you, Danboskid.
Honestly, I'll say I'm just staying positive. I mean, I've been the positive king, so I'll just keep being that.
So is it like a bittersweet moment?
I would say dwelling in the present moment where I know I have to take actions fast than just dwell in the past that I was evicted and then just be in my shell. Because I know, man, this is my time to shine because I was the first housemate to be evicted, yeah? And then no one is out. So I have to start picking up my life back together and then putting everything. So that's what I'm doing.
I get that, real. So what about you, Ibifubra?
For me, it's still bittersweet. I would say, right? There are moments where I'm like, yeah, I need to move forward, do the thing that I need to do to forge ahead.
Yeah.
But there are times where it just feels like, this was not the plan, and I'm still thinking about, the plans that still were to come, being in the house. But like you said, it's important that I use this moment right now, or we use this moment right now that nobody else is out. All eyes on us, interviews here and there, calls, messages, and just make sure that we use it to sort of amplify ourselves until, we sort of like get what we went to the house for anyway. So
definitely that came as a shock on Sunday, right?
To everyone. Everyone.
Why do you think you were evicted so early? Do you think it's because you played it safe? What's your honest answer to that?
For me,
yeah,
I don't know if I played it safe. I just feel like so when I was called, obviously it was a surprise to everyone in the house, including myself. I couldn't even speak, and there was like the obvious gasp, which is something people have been saying that like everybody's faces were a certain way. I don't think I necessarily played it safe. I feel like I was unraveling, right? And there were moments where I was actually very here and there in the house, right? But I don't think those moments were necessarily shown as much. But there are 29 people in the house. Everybody needs to have their moments. So I understand how people couldn't see every part of me or see everything that I was doing. But like I said, it's all good. What's important is to, just come on now and show those parts of me that sort of like were not necessarily, obvious.
What about you? Do you think you played it safe, Danboskid?
Well, honestly, like she said, it was a bit of a pace thing. Like, you can't just be somewhere and then they just start seeing all of you. Yeah, when I got into the house, I just started observing things because the first day I got into the house, they started the fight. I'm like, I'm literally just getting into this space and then you all already starting this chaos. So like, he kept me into my shell. Yeah, I was just observing, and then if you watched it more, you would see that the second week came up more active for me unlike the first week. Yeah, so like I started to know people more, and then that made me more free to do whatever I wanted to do.
Okay, so I wasn't going to get to this question, but because you already mentioned it, because I caught a particular diary session where you were telling Big Brother that you were still trying to like just observe. But this is an opinion I always have a problem with every year. This is why, because a show like BBNaija, you start to show yourself from the first day. I don't care how you have to do it, because over time, like I just feel like even from fan bases and everything and storylines start to shape up, from that very first week. So why did you think that approach would work in a show like BBNaija? Why?
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it working. Yeah. When people did ask me if I had a strategy, I said no, I was going just to be me. And if I did act so fast, honestly, that wouldn't have been me, and probably I wouldn't have been liked for who I was. But coming outside, even when I was evicted, I felt so bad because I felt the people not really like me. But then when I got out, I saw the issue. My name and my handles were totally different. People find it hard to like get the link to vote for me, and then that was one thing that actually did go down. And then when I changed my handle, I saw the engagement, and then I started seeing good comments like, you did so well, we're already starting to like you and things like that. Why do you have to go out this time? But then there was something I had in mind. It's a game. Time isn't waiting for you. But regardless, I still was who I was. And then the people who saw me for that are still trying to like catch on and things like that. So it's all good.
To be honest, I don't think the cameras really showed much of you the first week. Maybe because you weren't doing anything. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Second week, of course, you started coming out. And I think there are quite a lot of people who are of the opinion if you had survived this eviction.
Honestly, I don't think I would have been caught out anymore.
You would have stayed a little longer.
Yeah,
but I still just feel like you should have like showed yourself
from the first
from the first. Not necessarily fake it, but just that observing thing doesn't really, work.
I mean, when you come in there and it is more than what you think it was overwhelming. Trust me. We had people crying out there. They were crying out in public, and trust me, I wasn't just trying to break out, so I had to do my observation before I came out of my show. So.
Okay. All right, so Ibifubra, there's certain things, I've caught some of your interviews post-show, and there's some things you said that we never saw. So I want to ask you, what's like a narrative, a storyline, or moment that you wish, had been shown to the public that made it to the screen that we never got to see?
I don't want to stick to a certain. Honestly, I know there's still some conversations I had with people. In fact, I saw some online. I was like, "Oh, you had with this person and this person," but I just really wish my conversations with like a lot of people were shown, like more people, because I only saw one with like Kola and maybe Sabrina and like a few people. But I felt like most conversations. Okay, I'll say a conversation I had with Ortega once showed myself in a more vulnerable state than not because I'm trying to appeal to certain people, but I think it showed more of my humanity than anything, and I don't think that conversation sort of like got on the internet. Another thing is I think my relationship with somebody like Dede, it was never shown.
Had a relationship?
You see,
okay.
Yesterday I found out that like their fan base is thinking that we're sort of like like some enemies or something going on in the house, which is false. Dede and I we're actually people that liked each other, and yes, we had a whole like we're very close in terms of our closets.
Really?
Not close in terms of relationship, but just in our closet space, and we're even calling each other wifey in the house. It was like a whole joke. But Dede and I had some conversations together. We were sort of like building a friendship, and that part was never ever shown, and it caused some kind of things outside, like we're enemies or something. Also my conversations with Joanna, or my relationship building with Joanna. So I think that people just thought I was in a clique and I was stuck in a certain clique or certain cliques. Meanwhile, I had relationships with almost everybody in the house, special ones. Like some people I didn't necessarily talk to at all, like Ivata. We only spoke when it was necessary, right? But I can count, but honestly, even conversations I had with Gigi, just different people, right? Victory, they were not said. And it just pains me because some of them were important. If you look at the dynamics of the house and how they flowed.
Yeah.
Yes, so I really, really wish, like, all those, especially the one with Dede, I really, really wish they were shown and all of that.
I don't think I ever saw you guys speak at all. But it's good to know now that you're coming out. What about you, Danboskid? Do you think there's like a storyline, narrative, or just moments that you just wish, why didn't just, make this to the screen?
Honestly, I didn't really think so much about that because, I mean, I did see some part of me like I didn't expect that was going to be viewed. But then I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. I mean, people did see me for who I was, like I said, but they were finding it hard to locate my handles to get the link to vote. And then coming outside, that was all people kept saying, this. So like, maybe the fault was from me before I even got into the house. And that was an issue because I wanted to go in with my handle name, King's Juice, but then the brand, Bigher Naija, they had an issue because King's Juice was the official name already for a brand. So they wouldn't want someone coming to sue them, having to pick another name for that. So I had to choose another name, and I had to choose Danboskid. Danboskid was like my first nickname ever when I was a kid. I just had to pick that.
So people don't really call you Danboskid outside, do they?
Before I got in, nobody knew me as Danboskid.
Well, you're now Danboskid.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Ibifubra, let's start with you. Coming out of the house, you did speak about, not necessarily speak, we saw it. You've sort of felt like the glue to a couple of housemates, having like therapist sessions and all of that. But then you're coming out, you did mention how, despite all of that, it did feel like, you were still battling your own loneliness. You want to, expand on that.
Okay, I think I only spoke about this in my diary session and to Otega a bit, and I think I spoke to Sultana a bit, but like there wasn't understanding, so I left it. So I was very fast to drop it. But the house is a lot of people. It is noisy. It is chaotic, but it's not necessarily something that allows you to build meaningful relationships quick. It's you think you can, because I mean there's so many people to pick from, but not really. When so many things are going on, it feels like nothing is going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So it just feels like you sort of need an extra support to feel like your feet's on the ground and you're not drawn to this or that. So sometimes it felt like people had sort of created solid relationships already.
Yeah.
Not really, by the way. It's just the way it looks, right? And it felt like I was still struggling to figure out who was really my solid relationship, because in the first week I thought I had a solid relationship. I had to let that go. And the second week, I was building something else, but like it didn't still feel like it fits a bit, right? So it's now that I started building a relationship with Ruboy Otega, that I started to feel like somebody could see me truly for who I was, because I am complicated. I'm not straightforward, to be honest, and I understand how it is to sort of like be friends with somebody like me. I wouldn't come here and lie that I'm easy to be friends with. No, it requires work and it requires understanding, right? So all those things just made me lonely, right? It made me feel like I really did not find where to fit into properly, especially because, for instance, there were some groups that I found myself in sometimes, and the discussion that they are having is not necessarily something that I want to be part of. So sometimes you just see me observing or looking at them, and all of that. So those were the things that were really bothering me, because I was like, yeah, as much as this is a one person sort of game, it's nice to also have people that see you, care about you, and also vice versa.
Yeah, so not just a one-way situation. Okay, so let's just continue with you, and I'll get back to Danboskid. But he sort of also hinted about, his social media issue. But I did catch yours as well. What I don't know, I saw it on X, so you're going to just verify that. I saw things like, your Instagram page was private. Pretty much, there was no social media presence. Was it that you did not prepare before you went in the show? Because a show like that, I feel like aside from what you're doing in the house, there has to be like a lot of activity going on from your team as well. So that really was interesting to hear. But let me hear what you had to say.
I prepared, but I would say that now, from what I've seen, I'll prepare differently. I put everything down, but there was just a glitch in terms of getting my phone to my management and my handler from going into lockdown, all of that, and that really affected how they could reach my social media. So my passwords were dropped, all of that, but two-factor stopped them. It's a lot of back and forth that would be handled if it was just me with the phone, or them getting the phone, because they could just go through social media. So the handle that was locked was intentionally locked. That's my personal account, my private Finsta. However, there was an account that was open for people to actually go to, and it was popping up. I believe that sometimes for shows like this, people can be lazy in terms of wanting to find you, because if you actually type my name, the account pops up, right? But I think that they just want things to be, I don't want to say easier, right? Because it's easy. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny, right? Because it's very easy. I don't want any blame on my handler at all, because it wasn't my handler's fault. I've analyzed the situation totally. So my social media presence was delayed for certain reasons beyond my handler's control, right? And it's a very sad thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, if this was working, you wouldn't be out right now, and all these narratives are popping up. They're like, yeah, at least the handler will be able to see the things that maybe we did not see and post, or the things you've done before and post. But, these things are in the past, and I don't want to dwell on them too much, because this will just make me sad, right? And it's just be like, oh, I wish. But I'm out of the house, and I'll just make best or do with whatever I have now.
I love it. Way to go. So you also mentioned this, talking about how they didn't show some of your conversations and, for instance, friendship, or whatever you had with Dede. So there's also we knew you to be friends with a particular clique, right? So the narrative out there is, if Ibifubra, who usually minds her business, eventually joins the mean girls clique, right? I'm just saying it the way it's been said. So do you think that's a fair label, or do you think it's just, friendship that was, misunderstood? Because a lot of people just felt like, why? Because they were already tagged as mean girls for whatever reason that is. So what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I would say that the friendship served its purpose for me in the house, and that was to bring me comfort. So I was already prepping to not be too affiliated with that group as much. Yes.
Why was that?
Why was that? Because I felt like the group didn't have substance for somebody like me, because everything that was being done in that group was honestly gossip about other people and hate on people. Because at one time I was like, we're not talking about anything beyond these issues, like especially with certain people. And even I think somebody told me that like they'll notice that when they're saying something about Dede, I actually do not contribute like negatively to Dede. I actually just listen. I'm like, interesting. I've not noticed, or I've noticed, and that's because that was the truth. That was my truth. Like, just because they had issues with the person doesn't mean I would have issues with the person. So would I say mean girls? I won't necessarily give them the tag, right? But the house is small. People don't have much to do. No TV, no phones. We all talk about each other. Do you understand? But the manner of approach is what is important, in how you talk about the person. Yeah. So would I say that was lacking? Yes, definitely. Things would have been a certain way, but everybody's behavior, upbringing, like the way they behave and think isn't necessarily the same. And like I said, if there was extra weeks for me, you would have seen a turnaround in that, because I was already prepping. I even had a conversation on Wotega where I said, he was talking to me about it, and I was saying, I don't think that this is serving me any longer in terms of comfort or anything, and I'm ready to move on.
Okay, so I'm going to touch on this because obviously you're friends with her. That's Sultana, and I've heard you speak about it. I think the question was, do you think that she did urinate on Dede's box intentionally? You said no. And also you were asked if you thought it was jealousy. You said that wasn't it. But this is where I'm going. Just generally, I don't even think it's Jason, because I watched this one. Sultana basically said she didn't like Dede from the audition. I saw this one live, and I couldn't really get the picture. She was saying something like, she wore a wig and wore glasses. I just couldn't. But the point is, Sultana did say herself that she didn't like her, and there was another part where she said she can never like her, and just a couple of things she said, like it's just the physical appearance, no depth. I think that was like a narrative in the house. So maybe it wasn't jealousy. I don't know what it is, but what do you think it really was with Sultana and Dede?
Someone not just liking somebody. It happens where you meet people and you guys, your aura, spirit, whatever, you just don't vibe. Excuse me. And I think it has to do with difference in personality. They're like worlds apart. Like if you talk to Dede and you talk to Sultana, which I did, like you'd understand that these are two different people and two different worlds. Like they want different things, see things in a different manner. You understand? So I can't speak for her, because it's now she's saying that she can never like her, all of that. But from what I experienced in the house, it was less about hating the person or not liking the person, and more about just like indifference, until when the issues with Coin, Jason came into the play. It now looked like, I really don't like this person, because why is it two people that it's almost like they had two people in common that they were sort of, beefing, for. So again, like I said, from my standpoint, it's not necessarily, it didn't look like hate. It didn't look like jealousy. It looked like beef. Like that's the best way to put it.
Beef.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not hate now. It's
just a subtle way to put it. So clearly, there's beef.
Yes, beef.
Do you think it's on one side, or you think it's just both of them?
I think it's on both sides.
And on said beef.
Yes.
Really?
I think it's on both sides, because I watched a conversation with Dede, because she had with Jason.
Yeah.
And with the way she was speaking. So Dede has less like holding in her heart, right? But it's also a thing of this babe clearly doesn't like me, so like bye.
Why do I care? Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Let's move on from that situation. Speaking of Zita, what was it about Zita that really just stood out for you? What was it about her?
Same thing I said on stage on Sunday. She was a black melanin queen, and most times you see some bad girls when they've been insulted and things like that.
Yeah.
They tend to not take care of themselves anymore. But then she stood up for herself. She called herself Black Barbie, and that's for you to tell you that she's bold of herself. She don't care about what anybody says. And when Big Brother gave us the task about coming out of your mask, she even formed a narrative. Yeah, she was going to present that out to speak out for girls who don't have the boldness to come out. So like she was proud of herself, and then I liked that in her. And when I got to know her, she was my wardrobe mate. So like I did see her over and over and over again. When I got to know her, she knew how to hold good conversations. And when I like the beauty and the brains as well. And then she's a pretty girl. And then I got to know her. She was nice as well. We had so many things in common. So it just kept flowing and flowing, and then she stole my heart.
Oh, still love. But speaking of Zita, like, if not that she mentioned it in the diary room, I don't even think the viewers would have suspected that she was the mischief maker.
Yo,
when I heard, I was like, what?
I was shocked.
So you being so close to her, because you guys are really close, you never suspected anything?
Tell you what, she mentioned it like very fast, and I was like, why would you? I don't think you should do something like that.
What did she say?
She said like, when the first incident happened, of calling the person a snake, she was like, this is actually nice. It's something that I can still even try and do. I'm like, don't even think of that. Why would you? I feel
trying to hint you.
Me saying that was why she didn't even mention it to me. Because if I welcomed that kind of idea, she would want to don't tell anybody what this is. Because we were so close. And I was so shocked. Why? How didn't I know? I'm like, but you're good.
Exactly.
She not being noticed. She's doing a good job.
The fact that you didn't even notice, definitely.
Man.
But if she had told you, would you have stopped her?
Yeah, because I saw how Housemates reacted. Yeah, if they found that person, so like I'm like, hey, please, because they wouldn't take it easy on you.
Yeah.
But I hope she keeps being as smart as she has been, and they don't catch her. When they catch her, I don't know how.
But one more question for you personally, because that's also part of your highlight, even though it was a Mide and Zita situation. Was it a thing? Did she hit her or she hit the knife? What happened?
You guys saw it clearly. She hit the knife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I know if I didn't go to stop her at that moment, she was going to go physical.
Oh, okay.
Because Zita.
So there you have it. She did not hit me. She hit the knife. Okay, so just real, we're going to wrap up right now. So what's your take, on the relationships or ships already forming? And this is for both of you.
Like,
honest opinion.
Should we take them one by one or like just generally?
No, one by one.
Okay. I know people who want me to say this on Bright and Mide. I wish them all the best.
No, don't say no. You were close to. You got to say more than that.
Okay. I think that there are people that like each other, but they've not necessarily I don't know if they are scared or something, because when just an issue came up, she became jealous, and there was the begging and all of that. For people that said they did not.
Who was the issue?
I don't know.
You.
Somebody. They became, jealous, and one person was begging. But these are people that said that they told the housemates that they didn't care, they were not together and all of that. So it's. I think that their headspace, they're actually into each other, and like I said, I wish them all the best. What other sheep is in the house? Zita and Danboskid, that was our sheep in the house. Yeah. But yeah, we hope that they reconnect outside. She had words to give him when I also left the house, so that was lovely to witness. Isabella and KK, please.
With the ups and downs.
The ups and downs, I just think that there are people having fun in the house, right? I don't necessarily see them together outside of the house.
I heard they be nasty.
They're having fun. Okay. My bed just close to them. They make noise, but they're having fun. But anyway, what's other show? I don't think Dede and
It's
Sultana in
That's
a
not a
ship.
ship. That's
Like,
not a ship.
I don't think those things, the square that they're in,
But it doesn't have to be romantic as long as there's something there.
I mean, the square.
Situation.
Yeah.
The
the situation.
situationship that all
Yeah.
of them are in, I think is messy. But I like I said, I like Dede's game. Whatever it is she's doing with 3 of them, I think she should continue because it's working out for her pretty well. And they're grown, so if they want to be there, they should be there, but they should leave if they think it's too much.
Okay.
I think Sultan, the same thing, right? They're all grown adults. I don't know of any other like solid sheep in the house. I don't know of any other solid sheep in the house that I can, except you can help me.
No, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. What about you?
So there's some shit I think nobody knew about. Victory and Gigi.
Yeah,
that's
but
over.
because they scattered.
That was too shocking because I thought they were ahead of me because they kind of happened a little before me and Zita happened as well.
Yeah.
And then the next week,
They're the
Victory
first, I
picked-
think.
Yeah, Victory picked somebody as deputy of head of house.
Head
I'm
of-
like,
yeah.
what's going on? I actually saw it being real, honestly, because they were all over themselves until that incident. So I'm like, bruh. And then when I got to know things that I got to know, after then, Victor didn't actually like Joanna. He went back to Sultana, and Sultana didn't like him, so he went back to Gigi. I'm like,
And then
yo,
as at yesterday evening,
Yeah.
I see that he's going back to Joanna again because I caught
Yeah,
that
they
one.
said like,
well, like she said, they're literally just having fun, and if that's their strategy and if it's working for them, they
Okay.
should head on. That's pretty much fine.
So in all of this, you don't think there's a real ship, Sha?
Except for mine, I don't.
Yeah, I
think
mean
so.
people in the house.
no.
No, everybody's just using themselves. Is there any relationship you think you didn't get to explore? Like anybody?
Well, for me, I didn't really get to know Didi. She was the one person in that house that I didn't have even a shallow conversation with. It was just, hey Didi, what's up? Daniel, what's up? And that was how it was. But
What about you? Anybody?
The only person, I think Danboskid and I had a conversation. So in my diary session, I was like, if I survive, I was going to have a deeper conversation with him because we only played games. Yeah, so I saw him from afar and I was like, but this person, is with Zita, all of that. Let me have a conversation with him and just see what his head is like. But every other person, I had, like I said, apart from Ivata, to be honest, I've had a solid conversation with every other person in the house.
As a
So,
therapist of the house.
yeah.